Hello, hello. Steve, Canadian Sasquatch, coming at you with frequently asked beer questions. Chris over at Brick and Mortar tagged me, so I guess I got to do this. So let's get into it. Question number 1. How did you get into beer geeking and why beer? Well, I actually started with geeking over mead. My beautiful bride and I, we went up to the Renaissance Festival here in Texas. When was it? 2012, and we ended up with some mead, and it tasted fantastic. And then we found out that the local homebrew shop had a mead kit, so I grabbed that and made a batch. And while that was doing its thing, I found a recipe to make it a lot quicker than that recipe called for. So I did that and was able to drink that, and it turned out better than the stuff we had at the Renfest. So yeah, that was me getting into that. And unfortunately, at the same time, I was studying for a coaching certificate. So I was for Christmas, so that was in the fall of 2012, I believe. And for Christmas, my beautiful bride got me the beer brewing kit, everything you needed, the pot, the fermenters, all that stuff. And I was studying for the coaching certificate, so I couldn't brew beer until I finished that. And I got that done, and I started brewing beer. And yeah, I brewed that first kit that I got, which was a kit from the homebrew shop, and from there it just kind of, you say it went uphill or downhill depending on your point of view. But yeah, I just started digging the brewing beer and the brewing mead and wines and all that, and that's pretty much how that happened. Question number 2: what is your favorite beer? Favorite beer would have to be Clown Shoes Blakehorn Unicorn. Yeah, that one. It's a big imperial stout from Clown Shoes. It's pretty much my favorite beer, I believe. Well, favorite one that I can drink whenever. Favorite one of all time is Doggy Claws from Hair of the Dog, the 2003. That's my number 1 all-time beer. I had that 2 years ago, and that blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. Question number 3. If you could have one beer forever, what would it be? Oscar Blues 1050. That is pretty much my go-to beer when I'm just drinking beer. And I can just drink that all the time, nonstop, 2 or 3 of them at a time. Yeah. It's my favorite. My one beer that I would take with me to that there desert island or whatever. How can you drink so much? / how do you stay healthy? Well, I actually only started drinking 10 years ago. Kind of while I was really into outdoor sports, like essentially off-road triathlons, running, kayaking, all that stuff. So that was not a problem. The last couple of years, I kind of stopped doing all that stuff, and it has definitely showed. I've gained quite a few pounds ever since I've eased off of the racings and stuff that I used to do. So slowly getting back into that right now. My body is not cooperating. Everything's just falling apart on me thanks to bad genetics. So, yeah, kind of had to cut way back on things. So, like right now, it's Thursday. I don't have a beverage. I'm only drinking on Saturday and Sunday. Question number 5. Are you an alcoholic? No, alcoholics go to meetings. On a serious note, though, this is something that I monitor very, very closely. On both sides of my family, alcoholism has been problematic. There's deaths and jail time and all sorts of bad stuff has happened from the alcoholism. And I do have an addictive nature. So it is something that I monitor very, very closely in myself. And I make sure if I start feeling like it might be becoming a problem, I just take a step back and just completely stop drinking for several weeks, months, whatever. And so, yeah, it's not an issue, but I do monitor it. And like right now, I'm only drinking 1 beer on Saturday, 1 beer on Sunday. During the week, no beers whatsoever, and I'm not having any problems with that. It's actually making me enjoy those tasty beverages on those on the weekend that much more. So, yeah, not an alcoholic, but I monitor it. What's your favorite ingredient? Honey. Like I mentioned, I brew mead. I brew braggots. Most of everything I brew has honey in it. So yeah, it's honey. It just gives it a lovely taste of whatever it gets into. Quite often complements everything. So honey. Do you brew? Yeah, I've been talking about that. So yes, I do brew. What was your first beer? I do not know what my first beer was. I do remember very, very young slurping the foam off of my mom's beers. I don't know what they were or anything, but I do know what my first craft beer was. I was at the lodge in Big Bend National Park having dinner. I was out there by myself just enjoying nature. And I looked at the menu and I was like, I wonder what the Stone IPA is. So I gave that a try and boom. Since then, when was that? That was about 2004, 2005, I think that happened. No, not that late. 2000. Yeah, about then. And even though I said I only started drinking 10 years ago, I did try, and I was like, it tastes good, but I never, like, when I came back from that, I didn't go out and buy or still didn't go to the bars or anything. But, so, yeah, there it is. Who in the world do you look up to? Who in beer world do you look up to? Who in beer world do I look up to? Lermo 22. Because he's an inch taller than I am. These questions are really hard for me because I don't really look up to a lot of people in general. I like to think of everybody as equals, and so we just all have our special talents or knowledge or whatever that we all share amongst everybody. So it's not so much looking up to, but people that I like to share knowledge with, exchange knowledge with. Yeah, so I guess pretty much everybody. I look up to everybody. I look down to most people because everybody's so much shorter than me, but for the most part, yeah, I would say everybody, because everybody has knowledge that I don't have, and I may or may not have knowledge that they don't have, so we all exchange this knowledge and put ourselves all on this same path. Yeah. So that was question number 9, I believe. Yep, question number 9. So I want to thank Chris from Brick and Mortar for tagging me to do this. And I would like to tag and Brew Guy. You knew that was coming. Drunken One. I don't think you've done these yet. I think you need to do it. 8-Bit Chicken. I want you to do the FABQs because you tagged me in that other thing, so I still have to do that other thing. Tony Yates. I would like to see you do this. And Mr. Corin Zenith. I think Corin Zenith's got some fun stories. So, yeah, that would be who I'm tagging. So, there you have it. That's my FABQs for yous. Cheers, everybody. Be sure to have a pint of awesome. I know I will in 2 days. Peace. Cheers.